Now that we've got all of our mastering plugins set, it's time to do an audio export of our mastered project. So I'm going to close all of the plugins, and I'm going to reset the clip indicator on my master output. Because I have the maximizer on, and it's set to minus 0.3 below zero, I know that my master fader is not going to clip, and my master fader is set at the 0 position. So my output level is not going to go over 0. So I'm all set to do an audio export. And here's the best way to do it. I'm going to close the mixer and get back to my main Cubase project window, and I'm going to call up the transport window again by typing F2, and then I'm going to type G a few times to zoom out so that I can see my entire project. And then when I can see my entire project, I'm going to hit Command A on a Mac or Control A on a PC so that every single event inside of my event list is selected. And then I'm going to type the P key, P for Papa, and that's going to place my left and right locators around my entire project, but I may need to make some refinements to those. So I'm going to go to my left locator and I'm going to zoom in at my left locator, and I'm going to find out where the audio of this project actually starts. So I'm going to press play. That's where it starts. Really, it's right around measure 3. So I'm going to place my left locator at very close to the very beginning of that audio segment. So I'm going to hold down the Option button on a Mac, or it's the Control button on a PC, and click in that window. As long as I have the snap control off, I'll be able to get the left locator at right in front of the third measure. So now if I rewind and press play, I can hear that the audio starts as soon as I press the play button. Now let's worry about the right locator. Let's zoom all the way down here to the right end of my project and hear where the actual last part of audio can be heard. Maybe there. That'll leave enough time for any cymbals or reverb to trail off. So I'm going to hold the Command button on a Mac, or you'd be holding down the Alt button on a PC, and I'm going to move my right locator to that particular point in the project. Then I'm going to zoom out a few more times so I can see the whole project, and now I can do an audio export. And you do that by going to the File pull-down menu, selecting Export and Audio Mixdown. In the Audio Export Mixdown screen, I can give this particular file that I'm going to mix down its own name. So I'm going to call this Sack Lunch Test, and I'm going to call it 25, because 25% was the amount of maximizer optimize that I had it set for. And we're going to do a few of these a little bit later, and I'll want to be able to differentiate one from the other. So this is a test mixdown of this project at 25% maximize, and it's going to go into my Cubase project folder for this project, so I'm going to select Use Project Audio folder, and then I'm going to set the sample rate at 44.1. Chances are your project was set to 44.1 because that's what audio CDs are, and since we have the dithering plugin set to 16-bit to go to CD, I'm going to have the bit depth in this export window also set to 16-bit. The rest of these other radio boxes can be turned off, and I usually turn on the Close Dialog After Export box so that this window goes away whenever I'm done with the export. And then I'm going to hit the Export button, and then what's going to happen is it's going to mix this project down to a file on your hard drive that you can then burn onto an audio CD. Because we had the dithering engine on and we selected 16-bit and 44.1 kilohertz, it's going to be an audio CD compatible file. Now, just like a cooking show, we're going to fast forward here a little bit and talk about doing a statistical analysis of this mastered mixdown project.